All right, from the rails box, we found the legs for the bed and also a crossbar that we'll use here in just a minute. And then hardware pack number 4 from the rails box as well. I have a socket that's the 13mm socket, and I've also got an 11mm that we'll use here in a minute for this step. Okay, first off, I want to explain that there is a right and a left to these legs, and so kind of just to orient it, you have to kind of, if you can just kind of orient the leg like I'm showing here, where the leg will come, it's going to go through this hole, and then it will come down and rest on the floor in this fashion. So this one here is the right side. I'm going to hand the left over. Again, just kind of picture it going through like this, rotating down, and now that pad will be flat on the floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the 13mm nut that was installed on the bed, and now, or on the leg in shipping, and now from the hardware pack number 4, I'm going to remove, there's some Teflon washers. There's 4 of them, and then there with a big hole, and then there's also some metal washers that have the big hole, and then there's some of the small washers or big washers with the small hole. There's 2 of those. There's also a couple of small lock washers or star type washers. I'll pull those out. There's 2 of them, 1 for each leg, and then there's also a couple of longer bolts that I'm going to pull out. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these Teflon washers, and I'm going to slip it over kind of this collar on this leg. It's one of those washers, and then I'm going to slip it through what will be the second hole here, and you'll kind of feel that collar fit down into that hole. And then I'm going to take one of the larger metal washers, and I'm going to slip that over that collar as it comes through the rail. And then finally one of the large washers with the small hole. That'll kind of hold it all in place. And then I'm going to take my 13mm nut that I had taken off that leg, and I'm just going to tighten that right down. Now, as I'm kind of nearing the end of the threads, I'm kind of tightening it down. I want this to be fairly tight, but not too tight. I want this leg to still move. I mean, there's some resistance there. I don't want to get it so tight that this won't rotate, but tight enough that that there's no play in it. So, and now I'm going to have my helper do the same thing on the other side.